What's going on, guys? Mark here, and today I am here with my official 2018 NFL playoff predictions. And y'all gonna have some discussions down in the comment section, because some of y'all may like it and some of y'all probably gonna start throwing pitchforks at me, but we're gonna get there, don't worry. Let's look over currently the bracket at the moment. In the AFC, we have the Patriots, the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Titans, the Jaguars, and the Buffalo Bills. All pretty good teams this year, some of which got in by some lucky shenanigans, but we're not going there. In the NFC, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles, the Minnesota Vikings, the Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons, and the Los Angeles Rams. Out of all the teams in the NFC, I'm actually happy to say the LA Rams got in. Like, I'm happy for them. The Rams have had some pretty crappy years as of late, but they finally chalked up a good season, and they're in the playoffs as the number 3 seed. With that being said, I'm going to start off by going over the first game in the AFC, which is going to be the Tennessee Titans, Kansas City Chiefs. That's the game I'm going to go over real quick. And honestly, I know there's 2 people are going to hate me for my prediction, but I know them, but they're going to hate me for it. It's okay. When it comes down to this game, I look at the Titans. They got a good mobile quarterback in Marcus Mariota, who hasn't had the best season as of late, but I mean, look, it happens. What is this? It's like second, third year. If it's his second year, that's the sophomore slump. Kind of had that coming when you really think about it. Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, got Alex Smith, a good defense, got a great wide receiver core, a good running back core. Like, they've got good running backs over there. Kareem Hunt, pretty freaking good and fast. Plus, their offensive line isn't that bad as well. Now, everyone says Alex Smith cannot perform in the cold, nor can the Kansas City Chiefs perform in the cold. But thing is, though, I don't want to hear about that foo-foo. Now, I'm not trying to hear about that nonsense. That's stupid. That is dumb. Like, I'm not trying to hear that a team can't perform in the cold. A team can't perform in the heat when you really think about it. Look, either way, in the first game, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs moving on to the next round to take on the New England Patriots. I have them beating the Tennessee Titans. It's not a blowout game. I think it's going to be pretty close. I'm going to say Kansas City wins by at least 7. So now that we got that first game out of the way, now it's time to go look at the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this one just because of the fact I think it's pretty clear cut. Although it could go one of 2 ways. Now, Buffalo Bills got Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, who is starting, and I think they're saying he's a starter for this week. If they go in and try to put in Nathan Peterman, or whatever the hell his name is, no, they're just, that's an automatic L. I don't care. Now, the Buffalo Bills did get Calvin Benjamin this mid-season from the Carolina Panthers, which is a good pickup for the Buffalo Bills in the receiving core. They still got LaShawn McCoy back there, good offensive line. Now, the defense, on the other hand, it's there. I mean, they got a good defense. I can't really knock them for that. But when I look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, that defense is just freaking insane. The Saxonville Jaguars, when you really think about it, the defensive line is insane. You got Calais Campbell, you got Marcel Darius out there, and you got that one defense. I cannot pronounce his name. I know the name, but I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to butcher it. Out of respect for him, the cornerbacks, you got Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye, and you also have at safety Barry Church, so they've got a pretty good freaking secondary. And then the linebacker, Paul Posluszny, an amazing defensive talent. Offensively for the Jaguars, now, they do have Leonard Fournette in the backfield. Here's the thing that could cost the Jaguars big time in the playoffs, and that is the quarterback play of Blake Bortles. We know Blake Bortles is a hit-or-miss quarterback. He can make those, like, ridiculous dots throws, but then he can also just throw some ducks in the air. Like, Blake Bortles, oh my God, I honestly think Bortles will get out of the wild card round. I think the Jaguars and Blake Bortles will get out of the wild card round. They will move on. They will beat the Buffalo Bills, but it honestly all depends on if Blake Bortles is accurate that day. Like, that's what it's going to come down to. If he throws 1 interception, I'm sorry, the Bills are taking home the entire game. I don't care. Hopefully, the defense of the Jaguars can actually save them and win it for them. So I got the Jaguars moving on to face the Pittsburgh Steelers in the next round. Now that the wild card round is done in the AFC, it's time to go to the NFC Wild Card round. This one, the first game, Carolina versus New Orleans. Now, this game, to some, may be clear cut and dry that New Orleans is going to move on, defeat the Panthers in an easy fashion, yada, yada, yada. Look, I am biased in this situation, but can you help me? Now, I'm not going to say the Panthers are going to blow the hell out of the Saints. Saints are not going to, like, get destroyed by the Panthers. The Panthers aren't going to get destroyed by the Saints. Here's the thing. It is at New Orleans. That's what kind of scares me here. The Panthers, as of late, they've been having these games, these streak of games where Cam and the offense is going freaking amazing. Defense cannot be beat. And all of a sudden, they'll have that game where nothing's clicking. And it's like last week with Atlanta, this past week with Atlanta, the team just isn't clicking on any cylinders, offensively or defensively. And the Falcons were putting the clamps on the Panthers offensively, so I don't know. I don't even know what happened that game. Cam and Greg Olsen looked like they just had an argument or something like that, and I just don't know. This game is going to be, honestly, really close. The defense, I think, can play up. I don't think Carolina's going to play like they did against Atlanta. They don't have those back-to-back bad games, like really bad games. So, will I give Carolina an edge over New Orleans? Yes, but it all depends, I'm going to say this right now, on that first possession for Carolina is what's going to set the tempo for them the entire game. If Cam and the Panthers offensively can get something going, now, they might have Jonathan Stewart back in the backfield, which if they do, that's going to help them out. But again, the Saints do pose the biggest threat to the Panthers. For my bias pick, I'm taking the Panthers. Realistically, I'm taking the Saints. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Drew Brees. I don't know. For some reason, they seem destined for greatness this year, but I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers because fuck the Saints fans. Remember when I said you guys are going to be throwing pitchforks at me? Yeah, that right there should do it. All the Saints fans, come on. I don't care. Let y'all say you hate in the comment section. But like I said, the Saints got a pretty good team this year. So, again, that could go any one way. If the Panthers lose to the Saints, I'll be upset. But at the same time, look, we haven't played the best this year, so I understand. But still, moving on to the next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Los Angeles Rams. The Atlanta Falcons this past week put the clamps on the Panthers defensively, and they're also one of those teams I've always said, that Falcons defense, kind of suspect. I don't know why, I just don't ever see the Falcons, like, having those back-to-back great games defensively anyway. Offensively, I mean, they got Matt Ryan, they got Tevin Coleman, Devonta Freeman, Julio Jones. They got Mohamed Sanu. The Falcons squeaked into the playoffs with a 10-6 record, which isn't bad. I mean, that's really good. That's a good record. It's a winning record. But again, that shows how tough the NFC is this year. Now, the Los Angeles Rams, their offense is packed with Jared Goff, Sammy Watkins. You have the MVP candidate, a legit MVP candidate, in Todd Gurley, which I hope Todd Gurley wins it, just to show that anybody other than a quarterback can win the MVP. And the defense is led by Aaron Donald, who is he's amazing defensively. You can't, like, Aaron Donald is practically unstoppable on defense. And when it comes to these two teams, this game, I'm leaning heavily towards the Los Angeles Rams for the fact that I think their defense is going to hold the Falcons down. Now, I also think Julio Jones could have a big game this week, but at the same time, I think the offense of the Los Angeles Rams is pretty much going to run over the Atlanta Falcons. Now, if they do the same offense they did against the Rams this past week against the Panthers, I think the Falcons could pull one out or at least make it a pretty close game. But let's just be real, the Rams can do that same thing where they just throw it to Todd Gurley, they're just running with Todd Gurley the whole game. They can do that. So for this one, I'm going to give the edge to the Los Angeles Rams. They move on to play the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, guys, so now we're heading back to the AFC in the Divisional Round. We have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New England Patriots. I'm going to go pretty quick on these last few picks because, quite honestly, it's just going to get pretty, like, easy to choose. Now, if you guys remember week 1, the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots played. The Kansas City Chiefs pretty much beat the New England Patriots pretty freaking badly, and everyone was making the joke saying, we need to take Tom Brady off the GOAT edition cover and put Alex Smith on there, which was pretty funny. At the same time, do I think history will repeat itself? No, I don't think history will repeat itself. If Kansas City had to face any other team but New England, I think they would have a chance. So for this one, I'm going to go with the New England Patriots here because Tom Brady, Gronkowski, I think they're just going to pretty much kill Kansas City. Because like I said, Kansas City has played pretty inconsistent as of late, and I do not trust them. And sticking in the divisional round of the AFC, we're going to Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. Now, here's the thing about the whole Jacksonville-Pittsburgh game. The Jacksonville Jaguars, like I said, have played tremendously this year, especially on defense. So they are a team to be reckoned with when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, though, this is where, like I said, it's going to get a little bit, I don't trust him in this round. Because of the fact Blake Bortles is going against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I don't think he will have that luck and that magic going into the division round if the Jags do move on from Buffalo. With the Jaguars defense, could it keep them in the game? if they get pick six and fumble recoveries for touchdowns, I do think Jacksonville will move on to the conference championship for the first time in, I think, team history. But realistically, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers here. I think they got a better team, honestly, all around defense and offensive wise. And I think Ben Roethlisberger will have the better quarterback play from that game. We're almost done here, guys. Now we're going to the NFC Divisional Round. The first game we're going to be looking at is the Carolina Panthers versus Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Philadelphia, without their starting quarterback in Carson Wentz, is going to have to rely on Nick Folk as the backup to help Philadelphia move on in the playoffs. Now, Philadelphia has the home field advantage here, no matter what team moves on, whether it be New Orleans or Carolina. And Nick Folk, I mean, has been playing so-so, but the Eagles haven't had that same magic they've had when Carson Wentz has been playing. So let's say Philadelphia and Carolina do meet up. Carolina's already played Philadelphia. They did lose to the Eagles with Carson Wentz, and even then it wasn't that bad of a game. Though Philadelphia did play very good. They played a lot better than Carolina. With Nick Folk, do I think he can get past the Carolina defense? No. I don't think Nick Folk can actually have that same... I don't think he can produce well against Carolina's defense. Carolina's defense is really good. The linebackers, the corners, it's good. Not the best, but it's great. Although, like I said, even if Carolina gets this far in the playoffs, which is very, very slim to begin with, if they get this far, it's all going to have to really rely on Cam Newton and the offense. Can Cam Newton and the offense put up the points before Philadelphia can with Nick Folk? So in this round, I'm going to go with Carolina to move on to the conference championship. But again, like I said, this is all based off of how does Cam play. Cam plays crap in that wild card game, New Orleans is in the conference champion. Just switch New Orleans with Carolina, really. And now moving on to the other divisional round game, the Los Angeles Rams versus the Minnesota Vikings. Ooh, this game could be freaking amazing. I really want to see this game because this could be a very good game. Now, Minnesota is with Case Keenum, their sort of backup quarterback, who's actually played like a starter. He's played actually really well since going into the starter role for Sam Bradford. So I don't know. Quarterback play I don't think is going to be an issue for Minnesota. At the same time, like I said, the Los Angeles Rams just have a very good defense. Aaron Donald on the defensive line and all the other linebackers, the corners for the Los Angeles Rams can help produce points. And at the same time, their offense is also really freaking good. Quarterback Jared Goff, running back Todd Gurley. I think it's going to be enough to get past Minnesota, so I have Los Angeles going on to the conference championship. And now moving on to the conference championship game, we are almost done, guys. Like I said, I'm making these last few pretty quick because, you know, I just want to get this a little bit rapid fire right now because I already know who is going to win in my head. Now, we have the New England Patriots versus the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC. This game, I'm telling you right now, I think it was in the last matchup between these guys, the New England Patriots did beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do I think that's going to happen again? Possibly. I really do think that's going to happen possibly. I think New England can easily move on. Honestly, New England has like the best chance to move on to the Super Bowl. Everyone's been saying New England or Pittsburgh's going to move on. Who's going to win? It's going to be between one of these two teams, which honestly, it's true. It's going to be between one of these two teams. But for me, it's gonna be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, I don't care that New England's got James Harrison. What is he gonna do against Pittsburgh? Like, really? He's not gonna do anything. Honestly, James Harrison, I don't think he's gonna do anything for New England. If everyone says, well, he got 2 sacks at the end of their one game, garbage time sacks. I don't count those. But either way, I've got the new Pittsburgh Steelers moving on. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything. This is going to be one of those games that's going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to come down to a field goal at the very end of the game just because of the fact these two teams are going to play very good offensively and defensively. They're not going to be letting up 30 points a game. If I had to say and make a prediction for scoring-wise, I think it's going to be at least 21-24 Pittsburgh. And now it's time for the NFC Conference Championship. It's the Carolina Panthers versus the Los Angeles Rams. In my opinion, I think that's what's going to happen. But the winner of this game, oh man, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. So you already know where I'm leading. But here's the thing. With the Carolina Panthers moving on this far, do I think they can keep the same match? Because, again, the Panthers have just been that most inconsistent team this year that I just do not understand. Like, I don't get why one week they're having the best game. Next thing you know, they're airing out the most random team that you would think that's going to hold them to maybe 10 points, but still win. And but next thing you know, they put up 30 on them. I don't understand this team. But Los Angeles, I think we'll have the better of Carolina, just because of the fact I don't think Carolina can keep up this same play through the Super Bowl, even through the conference championship. This is like, I'll put it this way. To my Saints fans in the comment section down below, the very one of you, to the Saints fans, I will say this. If New Orleans and Los Angeles were to meet up, like I said, if you switch Carolina, Los Angeles and the New Orleans Saints were to meet up, I have New Orleans going on to the Super Bowl. But in this one, with Carolina being in the conference championship, I have the Los Angeles Rams moving on. Either way, I've got them moving on. They've got the better of Carolina in this game. That hurts to say. So, how many of you really thought at the beginning of this video I would have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Los Angeles Rams meet in the Super Bowl? Because quite honestly, I didn't. Now, again, I was looking over the bracket originally the other night, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, who's going to win these games? And I'm thinking of all these different scenarios, but I'm going with the ones that are most likely to happen in my mind. And again, like I said, look, you tell me your Super Bowl winner, and this is my bracket. So, like, let me know your bracket in the comment section down below. I want to know who's going to win the Super Bowl in your opinion in the comment section. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear from you guys. But again, in my opinion, I think it's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl, which would be a pretty cool matchup in my opinion. I think it would be. Now, who would win the game, though? That's the whole thing. Again, Rams have a pretty high-paced offense with Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, Watkins, all them. And the Pittsburgh Steelers got Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. Good Lord, they have everybody. Juju Smith-Schuster. It would be dope. Yo, can you imagine if this dude won a Super Bowl in his rookie year? That would be hilarious if he actually won. It actually be pretty dope, too. So, if I have to go with a team here, again, it all comes down to the more well-rounded team, and the more well-rounded team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do feel like they're going to win the Super Bowl this year just because of the fact they have a better, well-rounded team than any of the teams in the playoffs, maybe besides New England, maybe besides New Orleans. But like I said, again, this whole thing, you could just flip-flop New Orleans. Like, again, if it was Pittsburgh versus New Orleans in the Super Bowl, in my opinion, I might have New Orleans winning it. But again, I had to be the biased guy and put Carolina in. My bad. Either way, I've got Pittsburgh winning it. They got the more well-rounded team. Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger, Juju Smith-Schuster, Le'Veon Bell. That whole offensive line is just amazing. And then defensive-wise for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they've got a great defensive line. Their linebackers are on point. It sucks. I don't think Ryan Shazier will be back for the Super Bowl. I doubt it. But the corners are still pretty good as well. I think it's a more well-rounded team right there. So, yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers are the Super Bowl winners. Like I said, guys, in the comments section down below, you let me know who's going to win the Super Bowl. I want to hear from you guys. And again, you can make a good bid for the New Orleans Saints winning it and even going on to the Super Bowl. But in my opinion, I think Pittsburgh's got the better, well-rounded team to make it this far. And like I said at the beginning of the video, you're probably going to be throwing pitchforks like, this guy don't know what the hell he's talking about. You're right. Now, either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, let me know in the comment section down below your playoff predictions in the comment section down below. I really do want to hear this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, y'all. Have a safe one. Peace.
I'll be honest with you. Mentally, I'm fucked up. I ain't never looked up. The game never loved us. I work hard for everything I got and still somehow I give fuck. Muse love.